It started with a bet. Not a pitch meeting or a studio plan, just a bet. Director Jim Wynorski was watching an old print of Roger Corman's 1957 sci-fi film Not of This Earth when Corman himself walked in. Half joking, Wynorski said he could remake the movie using the same schedule and budget, adjusted for inflation. Corman, known for squeezing every penny out of a project, didn't laugh. He said, "Do it." That dare turned into a real production. 12 days, just under $300,000,000. Wynorski pulled it off in 11. The result? A bizarre, fast-paced sci-fi horror film with aliens, sunglasses, blood theft, and one of the most controversial stars of the time. It was chaotic, cheap, and electric, and it still stands out today. Not of This Earth, 1988, isn't just a remake. It's a case study in how wild, weird, and wonderfully unpredictable low-budget filmmaking can be. The story itself isn't complicated. An alien named Mr. Johnson lands on Earth to harvest human blood to save his dying planet. He pretends to be a wealthy recluse and hires a nurse named Nadine, who slowly realizes something's seriously wrong. It's classic B-movie stuff, offbeat characters, strange pacing, and plenty of gore and laughs. But what really made this film pop was who they cast as Nadine. Traci Lords was fresh off one of the biggest scandals in the adult film industry. Most of her work had been pulled from shelves after it was revealed she had entered the business underage. She was banned, blacklisted, and a lightning rod for controversy. To Wynorski, she was also the perfect way to get people talking. She didn't even have an agent. He tracked her down and pitched her the role, a blood technician who gets wrapped up in an alien nightmare. She said yes. The decision brought a media storm, but it also brought something unexpected. Lords was funny, committed, and surprisingly natural on camera. Wynorski, not one to sugarcoat things, later admitted she had real comedic talent and work ethic. Her performance helped carry the film, blending dry humor with genuine emotion that stood out in a movie filled with sci-fi chaos. Opposite her was Arthur Roberts as Mr. Johnson, the alien aristocrat in human disguise. Roberts played it completely straight, which only made things weirder and more unsettling. His cold, calm delivery made the character feel both creepy and oddly charming. And it worked. His performance gave the film a strange, offbeat energy that fit perfectly with a low-budget, high-ambition vibe. Another fun twist was the casting of Monique Gabriel. Known mostly for being eye candy in previous roles, she asked to play something different. Wynorski gave her the role of Agnes, a strange neighbor with a quirky edge. She was almost unrecognizable, and she nailed it. The movie also featured Kelly Maroney, another B-movie favorite, in a smaller role as Nurse Oxford. She had limited screen time, but still made an impact. The film was shot all around Los Angeles, Venice, Wilshire Boulevard, Griffith Park Observatory. There wasn't much time for elaborate sets or perfect lighting. Every dollar had to stretch. But thanks to cinematographer Zoran Hochstadter, the movie had a sleek, polished look that hit its tiny budget. Fun fact, the gaffer, the guy in charge of lighting, was a young Janusz Kaminski, who would later win Oscars for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. To save even more money, they reused effects and stock footage from other Roger Corman projects, a pretty normal move in that world. But what held the movie together was a surprisingly sharp script and editing. The writing team of Wynorski and R.J. Robertson kept things tight, while Kevin Tent, who would later edit major films like Sideways, gave the film a snappy pace and unexpected style. It wasn't flawless, but that's part of the charm. There are goofs all over the place. Continuity errors, time-of-day jumps, wardrobe mistakes, you name it. In the final chase scene, the time flips from night to day and back again without explanation. In one moment, Traci Lords is drying off from a shower wearing heels, and in the next shot, she's barefoot. Even crew members accidentally show up in the frame. But if you love B-movies, those mistakes feel less like flaws and more like Easter eggs, reminders of how fast and wild this production really was. The soundtrack? Pure 80s synth magic. Chuck Serino handled the score, giving it that moody, cheesy, almost hypnotic vibe that makes B-movies so addicting. There's even a song called You Make Me Horny just to make sure nobody forgets this movie never takes itself too seriously. When the film was released, mainstream critics were confused. The Los Angeles Times called it a curiosity that definitely entertains, which is probably the most accurate description anyone could give. But in video rental stores, it blew up. The outrageous cover art, the Lords controversy, the promise of weird sci-fi thrills, it became a must-rent. Over time, it earned its place as a cult classic and a shining example of how to remake a film without losing its soul. For Wynorski, it was a career high point. He went on to remake other Corman projects, always with the same scrappy energy. For Traci Lords, it was the start of a real acting career. She would later appear in Crybaby, Melrose Place, and even Nash Bridges. But more than anything, Not of This Earth is a time capsule. It shows that with a small budget, a bold idea, and the right kind of chaos, you can make something that people still talk about decades later. So next time you stumble across an old VHS tape with Traci Lords staring down a space vampire, don't skip it. That's not just some random B-movie. It's a piece of outsider cinema history that still bites hard. If you enjoyed hearing the wild story behind this cult classic, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more strange Hollywood tales, and drop your favorite B-movie moment in the comments.